Shell. How's it going?
Good.
Fancy seeing you here in your own flat.
I know. Sometimes pop up here.
Oh, you had some friends. I was like, oh, hello.
Hello.
We didn't see you there, but I'm Grace.
I'm Shell.
And this is the Life Begins podcast. In visual. We've been thrown because it's not audio. It's we've got
we've
a
had
visual.
to get dressed. We've had to brush our hair.
Yep.
To
Look
brush
civil.
Our teeth. Yeah.
Which we don't normally do. Yeah. But lovely Nicole, who's behind the lens capturing this for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Has offered to make it a bit more visual. Or zhuzhy. So we thought we'd do this episode talking about friendship generally and talking about us specifically because we've been asked, not because we're narcissists. Like people have actually said, how do you know each other and why have you done this?
Doing it?
Yeah. So we thought, hey, we'll give you what you want. We met through university. That's where we met. So the year was
95.
95, yeah, so it's fresh 18-year-olds. We went to Aston University in Birmingham.
And it almost didn't happen because I almost got the A-levels I wanted. But I failed. Didn't get my first choice of university, which was Nottingham.
Rubbish.
So my insurance policy was Aston. And I thought, I'm going to go for about a week, and if I don't like it, I'm not staying. And then,
I didn't realise you were actually thinking that.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about university choices, and I obviously wasn't aspiring as high as Shell, because Aston was like, I've actually written off going to Aston. I didn't think that there's any way I would have made the grades. I didn't think so. And I was fine with that until the night before the results came out. And I remember I was with my another good friend, Jess, who we were at school together, and before GCSEs and before A-level results, I always stayed at her house, so that's the thing. And I remember saying, I'm going to Aston. So even all summer thinking, I didn't work hard enough, I only revised for 2 weeks, that's terrible, don't do that, kids. And the was like, I'm not going, but then it was like, no, I'm going. And I just thought, if I have to get on a bus and go up to Birmingham and speak to the Dean of Aston and say, please, no, you need to take me. And I'll never forget, Jess was looking at me like, you've lost the plot. Because I was just really calm, like, I'm going. And thankfully, I did make the grades, which I know a couple of my teachers were quite shocked. It wasn't just me. So I'm grateful for how it worked out. And Nottingham's loss was Aston's gain, Shell, and my gain.
And my gain, I loved it, by the way. I did love Aston University. I'm just so pleased the way it all worked out. Our rooms were opposite each other.
And, we were sharing a flat. The way that it was set up in Aston, we had tower blocks. So we'd have a short side and a long side of our tower block. So there was 6 in ours, and our neighbours on the long side there was 12. But Shell's room was directly opposite mine. And you were the first person who moved in though, right?
I was,
Yeah. However, when the rest of us, the other 5 of us, moved in, Shell was nowhere to be seen. Where were you, Shell?
I was just having a lovely time.
Clearly on some sort of pub crawl.
Yeah.
So we moved in, and it's like, the missing girl, we don't know. But then our rooms, because they were opposite each other, and we all had peepholes, and then I went to bed, and it's lonely going to uni. I was so hyped and pumped about going to uni and being in halls and being independent and free, but it was like, I don't know anybody, I'm in a flat with strangers, I don't know. And then I could just hear the scratching, so I looked through the peephole in my door, and there's Shell trying to get in.
Not into your door.
No, she's not a psychopath. Trying to get into her door outside. And I must admit, I was probably a little bit judgmental. Wow. I've left the bosom of my family to come and live opposite a drunk. However, in the cold light of day, we were very friendly the next day. As the week rolled on and we got to know each other, So that feels cool.
It's the start of a beautiful friendship.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
How did it happen, Grace? How did it first happen?
Well, what, the whole podcast?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of started in 2016, summer of 2016. I came down to stay with you. Well, I didn't come to visit you actually, I just came to use your
Stay at
flat
my
as did. Yeah, I came down for a conference with friends, and when you met me from the station, you said, "Oh, Grace, I've got a treat for you." And I'll admit, I thought it was wine. Like, so, and then you showed me this DVD that, so your dad sorted out?
Basically, my dad had had a load of VHS cassettes and just converted them to DVD, not really knowing what was on them. And there was one where my parents literally just thought, who are these people? And they didn't even recognise me. I mean, my hair was so greasy, you'd think there was no shampoo around in those days. But yeah, and it was just us mucking about doing supposed to be doing our social communications project.
Yeah. Young girl, you're very pretty. I like your hair.
In between, we were just excited to have a video camera,
yeah, that's great.
And we were just mucking about with it. Yeah, we just enjoyed watching it and realising we used to sort of just do fun things and muck about and just make things and not feel self-conscious or wash our hair for it.
Yeah, sure. You joined me. Hello. This is our video depicting student life as we know it. Isn't that right, Michelle?
That's right, Grace.
Now, as you can see, we're not dressed up. This isn't glamorous. This isn't just,
it's just
some
life.
fake show. It's life as we know it. It's a Saturday Saturday afternoon now, isn't it?
We don't get up in the mornings because that's student life.
It certainly is. You'd believe that, wouldn't you? You thought that was true. It's a myth. Some people have been up for hours working. All students aren't slackers, These are our working clothes. It's just awful how people lie about our lives. But we're here to break those lies, those myths. We're going to tell you the truth. Student life really is about. Isn't that right, Shell?
That's right, Grace.
So watch closely. You might just learn something. And it was just really fun just to see ourselves being creative, being fun, imaginative, and we watched and couldn't recognise ourselves almost, and we were like, what happened to those people? That's mad.
How did that get squashed out long after 20 years
Seriously.
of working?
So I think that lit a fuse, going back, and we need to create again, and we need to capture that rather than just being ground down by life, by the man.
Yeah.
No, I do actually like my job, but it's just, but life has a habit of kind of quashing dreams and stuff, and you just keep going and you're just thinking about paying your mortgage or whatever. And talking about life begins moment, that's one when you realise that you had dreams.
Yeah. And I'd even forgotten them, it's not, I'd even forgotten I liked certain things, enjoyed doing certain things.
I just think it was just remembering who you are, remembering creativity, and then the beauty of combining that with friendship. And do you know what? It's a real privilege to have a friend that's known you when you were young and different parts of your life. It was a year ago that we started thinking, let's do something, and we didn't have a clue about Life Begins. And why did we do that? What was the journey of us?
Well, for quite some time we'd been wanting to do something creative. And we weren't quite sure what, and we spent a lot of time talking about doing it and just not doing it.
Yeah.
So that was part of it, our frustration with ourselves. We thought, let's do something, let's make something, but we didn't really quite know what, did we?
No.
Because you dabbled in things, didn't you? You dabbled with, you were going to do Vader.
Oh yeah, vlog every day in April for YouTubers, and I actually stomped up for a MacBook which is like a very expensive way of watching YouTube videos because I didn't do anything else with it. And you bought a fancy microphone.
I did,
which we don't use.
Yeah, which we don't use. And I've probably been on lots of different writing courses and things and not written anything. And so we kind of got to that point where we just had to do something.
Kind of love how it came about. We turned 40 a year before we actually started. And thinking, life begins. And how it came about was just incredible. Just sat on this very sofa, just started talking into our phones, really, the voice recorders on, our iPhones. And then I think it was the next day the idea came. It's like, life begins, and it's not about age. Like, life doesn't just begin at 40. It's not just landmark birthdays. It's not your 18th, your 21st, your 50th, or whatever. There's loads of different moments in life that are significant. So it might be not getting the results for Nottingham, but then starting at Aston Uni, or all sorts of different things. So we just wanted to celebrate those life begins moments and recognise them and celebrate them. And then we were thinking about people that we know, and just like, do you know who's got a great life begins moment, such and such? That was really great, and I'd love to talk to him or her about that. And then what's been interesting, what I've loved about doing this series is that we'd already mapped out like who to talk to and what we thought their life begins moment would be. And then when we gave them like the sort of questions, and they've come up with something completely different. It was like,
even more interesting than we could have, suggested to them.
So Duncan, episode 8, I had a completely different life begins moment for him. And then when he said it was about shaving his head, accepting that he's losing his hair, I was like, that's way better.
It's been fantastic, even people because it has been generally people we know, but I've just learned so many things about people that I've known for years and just didn't know a certain thing about them.
I've loved people's openness to sharing and just realising afresh that ordinary people are extraordinary. You don't have to be like a celebrity, you don't have to have done something like ridiculously outlandish, just the everyday stories.
Real life stories, We had some lovely, exciting moments, like Lizzie and Asta, the magic dog. It got me running for I was going to say running for my life. I wasn't running for my life.
Running full of life.
Full of life.
Bear in mind that I've just said that me and Shell have been friends for well over 20 years, knocking on 25 years. I have never once seen her run. The theme of this podcast, because it's kind of friendship. Like, largely we wanted to talk about friendship and that life begins with friendship. There's a saying that I've got some cheap t-shirt with it on, like your tribe becomes your vibe, or the other way around. And I think that's really true. The people you surround yourself with are like your community, they're your village, they're your people. I just want to thank the guests that have been on so far for this series. So from Viola to Lizzie, Natalie, Claudette, Jude, Duncan, and ourselves. Shell, you've been a fantastic.
Great. No, you've been great.
Stop. So it's been really fantastic, and just it's really exciting because series 1 is ending, but we do have loads lined up already for series 2. We've already got 6 interviews about new businesses or personal injury, marriages, ends of marriages, births, infertility, something we're talking about. So
really excited about sharing those stories with you.
You're in for a treat. But just having a little breather to make sure it's a great series for you. So everything's in post-production at the moment. Is that the right term? I don't know, I'm acting all judgy.
Sounds quite posh.
Switch a camera on, I'm coming up with terminology that I don't understand.
Stay with us for series 2, coming really soon.
Yeah.
What she said.
Couldn't put it better myself. Yeah.
Begins.
Yeah, Life Begins, whatever. So, did you say do it all again? All of it? Yeah,
Take 350.
Yeah,